If you're buying real estate in the United States, whether it's your first home or an investment property, there's one mistake that shows up constantly. People use three words as if they mean the same thing: agent, realtor, broker. They don't. And the difference matters because it affects accountability, deal structure, and ultimately your outcome. So in this video, I'm going to explain clearly and simply what a real estate agent is, what realtor actually means, what a broker does, who truly controls the transaction in the US, and how to choose the right professional, especially if you think like an investor. Let's start with the basics. A real estate agent is someone who holds a state-issued real estate license. That's the definition. It means they're legally allowed to represent buyers or sellers in a transaction. But here's an important detail that most people miss. In many states, an agent cannot operate independently. They must work under a broker, meaning inside a brokerage. So when you work with an agent, you're not just working with an individual, you're working within the broker's structure, policies, and supervision. A simple way to think about it is this: an agent is licensed to do the job, but they're typically not the final level of oversight. Now let's clarify realtor, because this is where confusion is highest. Realtor is not a separate license, it's not a different profession, it's a membership designation. A realtor is a licensed agent who is a member of the National Association of Realtors, often referred to as NAR. What does that change? It adds an additional layer of professional obligation. Realtors commit to a formal code of ethics that usually means stronger standards of conduct and more accountability within the profession. But I want to be precise. Realtor status doesn't automatically make someone highly skilled. It's not a guarantee of performance. It's a signal of affiliation, standards, and potential consequences for unethical behavior. So the clean takeaway is, not every agent is a realtor, but every realtor is a licensed agent. Now let's talk about the broker. A broker holds a higher level license than a standard agent. A broker can work independently, open a firm, supervise agents, and in many cases is legally responsible for the transactions conducted under their brokerage. So brokers typically represent the top layer of oversight in a brokerage environment. If an agent is the frontline operator, the broker is the party responsible for compliance, supervision, and in some cases, problem resolution. And yes, brokers can also be realtors if they join NAR, but that's separate from the broker license itself. Here's the practical reality. Most real estate issues don't happen because someone is malicious. They happen because the process is complex, deadlines are tight, and small mistakes become expensive. Common failures come from weak contract knowledge, poor negotiation, lack of local market understanding, and rushing to close. That's why structure matters. The best professionals don't simply show homes, they manage risk, negotiate terms, and protect the client's position. Now we get to a point most buyers and even many new investors don't fully understand. In the US, your agent is a key advisor and negotiator, but the transaction itself is controlled by third parties and systems, especially at closing. Typically, the core parties controlling execution include the title company or escrow company, the lender if financing is involved, the appraiser, the home inspector, and in some states, a real estate attorney. Your agent is not holding funds. Your agent is not transferring title. Those functions sit with escrow and title and the lender. So think of it like this. Your agent influences the outcome through strategy and negotiation, but the transaction is executed and controlled operationally by escrow and title and financing. So the question becomes, what should you expect from the person representing you? A strong agent is not nice. A strong agent is effective. They should be able to negotiate price intelligently, negotiate seller credits when appropriate, identify weaknesses in the property or deal structure, use contingencies strategically, and manage timelines so you don't lose leverage. In short, a strong agent doesn't just find a property, they protect your position. A weak agent, on the other hand, tends to do the opposite. They rush decisions, minimize risk, and treat the process like paperwork. And in real estate, that approach gets expensive. If you're buying a home to live in, your best criteria are simple. First, local market knowledge. You want someone who truly understands the neighborhood, not just the city. Second, negotiation ability. Your representation is only as good as the terms they can secure. Third, process management. A professional should walk you through deadlines, documents, and risk scenarios in plain language before you sign anything. Calm, structured guidance is a real competitive advantage in a transaction. If you're investing, the criteria shifts. An investor doesn't need someone who sells homes. An investor needs someone who understands the asset. That means cash flow logic, rent comparables, neighborhood fundamentals, tenant quality, and renovation economics. A good investor-focused agent should also have a network: contractors, inspectors, property managers, and lenders. Because deal quality comes from execution, speed, accuracy, and access. If your agent can't speak in numbers, you're not investing, you're shopping. There are situations where you should strongly consider broker-level support. For example, complex transactions, commercial property, portfolio building, legal or title complications, unusual financing structures, or deals with higher operational risk. Brokers tend to have more experience with edge cases, and they operate with higher responsibility. That's not always necessary, but when the downside is meaningful, more oversight is usually the rational choice. If you want to make a strong decision, ask these 7 questions before committing. 1. How many transactions have you closed in the last 12 months? 2. What is your primary market and neighborhood focus? 3. Are you a realtor, and what standards does that represent in your daily work? 4. Who is your broker, and how involved are they if issues arise? 5. Walk me through how you negotiate. Give a specific example. 6. What are the top risks you see in this deal right now? 7. Who will manage the process day to day, you or someone else on your team? Strong professionals answer calmly and clearly. Weak professionals avoid specifics. So here's the clean framework to remember. Agent means a state license. Realtor means membership and an ethical code. Broker means higher responsibility and supervision. And operationally, escrow and title and the lender control closing execution. If you're a home buyer, choose based on local expertise, negotiation, and process management. If you're an investor, choose based on numbers, deal structure, and execution capability. If you found this useful and you want more real estate explained with a finance mindset, subscribe to the channel. On this channel, we focus on real decision-making, how deals are structured, where risks hide, and how professionals think about real estate as an asset. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.